What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Ethereum Classic. So we've had some crazy price action lately. I want to break it down, what's causing it, and if we are going to recover / have this as a good buying opportunity or not. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So over the last 24 hours, it is up 1.73%. So recovering fairly well. It does actually show on Seeking Alpha, the low being 1391. But for instance, if we pop over here, we do see, because of that flash crash that did occur, it did have a low of 759. So starting off, give yourself a shout out if you somehow were able to catch the bottom on that, because you would have 2x your money instantly. But very difficult. There was a lot of fear at the time and it happened very fast. But in case you do not know, Trump came out, seems like out of nowhere, and just hit China with a 100% tariff, only because it looks like there's some arguments occurring because of rare minerals. So at the end of the day, for face value, you would assume that a lot of that does not really affect cryptocurrency, but there has been less and less volume getting into crypto, as well as equities, both markets. And so I cover that and a lot of different stocks where we've seen low volume. And so even right now, factoring in the flash crash, we are seeing about 29.16 million for volume. That is rather on the low end. So ultimately, when it comes to, for instance, last week, we did see $19.84 billion leave both crypto and equities to go back to money markets. Grand total, about $7.39 trillion is sitting in money markets. And so this does explain why we have been seeing less and less volume, not just with ETC, but pretty much across the whole board, because big money does and is very fearful about the circumstances of the economy and the market, despite things pretty much being at all-time highs. So when it comes down to it, this is what really prompted the flash crash, because one big thing that's been really keeping and prompting things higher is algorithmic trading. So popping back over here for a second, so you do see from the flow, for instance, over the last 24 hours, algorithmic trading, which right here is the smaller transactions, that makes up for the majority of the volume. So even though we are seeing overall kind of lower volume somewhat with ETC, still it does look like algos were the culprits on why it did go down. So and most likely as it was going down, it was triggering a lot of kind of stop losses and so forth. But that is exactly why it did go down. A lot of people are trying to dig into it very, very deep on why it truly happened. It's just simply we've had and been experiencing lower volume. Algos caused the flash crash, and that's exactly what happened. So a lot of people, like I said, are trying to overly complicate it, but it is what it is. Right now it is at about 1477. We had that crazy push lower. Everything did experience that same type of push lower. Bitcoin is down over the last 24 hours, 7.63. Even just looking right here, just everything had that crazy push lower. Some more than others, such as Ripple down 15.5, Solana 17. So a lot of big names did get hit. And ultimately, ETC, been a while since I've done an ETC video, but for instance, it is ranked number now 43 based on the market cap. So it has been just lagging, and that's unfortunately because of no substantial updates to the ecosystem. And my last video, I pretty much said the exact same thing. So I think just ETC is, sorry to burst your guys' bubble, it is dying out. It's just not really getting the developments that it wants. And this is why nobody's really buying it on a large scale, right? This is why, for instance, ETC, just based on a lot of the peers around it, over the last 24 hours, it went down 28.03%. You have Aster down 14.66. Ondo down 16.6. So in reality, it's just a very unfortunate type of scenario. You're seeing everything being very, very oversold though. At the time of doing this video, crypto fear and greed index is under the fear category, high end of the fear category, which is rather odd. You would anticipate we'd be under the extreme fear, but we're not. So this is where hypothetically things could get a little bit worse for wear, because it was the algos that was the main cause. For the remaining holders of ETC and Bitcoin and many others, if they start to actually sell, then things could get very real very fast. From what we can see from the liquidations though, it was a lot of longs, again, algos, but there was 33.46 million in longs that did kind of liquidate their positions. Shorts did take kind of profits, so I think they actually surprisingly did help ETC to recover. So they did return about $6.41 million, because of course by shorts kind of covering and liquidating their position, they have to buy it back. So as ETC was going down, shorts took advantage and covered. So kind of interesting how that all did play out. But ultimately, quickly going over here for a second, ETC on the actual chart itself, things aren't looking all that great. So it is below all the key moving averages that generally I like to look at. I'm looking at the daily chart, but even moving over to the weekly, monthly, just it's not looking that great. And I feel like the last little bit, we had a very good opportunity to really move higher, but everyone just keeps saying alt season, but if you are actually having ultimately capital leave the crypto market, then you're not going to have any alt season. So I think just people are unfortunately grasping at straws. This might be a good potential swing trade if you're very experienced and you have time to monitor it, but if we do get some crazy developments over the weekend in regards to tariffs, then you could see a secondary push lower. So in my opinion, I feel like you just have to kind of monitor anything single digit for ETC. In my opinion, is a pretty solid deal, but for face value, I do feel like there is a little bit more downside. But let me know your general thoughts on ETC, and if you somehow bought, are you still even monitoring or kind of watching it? What do you feel is the next big catalyst for ETC, or do you think it's going to piggyback more off of just the broader markets catalyst? So I think generally as well, a big market catalyst is going to be potentially rate cuts. And so the next Fed meeting, I'll hit refresh, is on October the 29th. And right now there is a 96.7% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. So in theory, actually I just hit refresh, so it's now at 98.3. But in theory, this could be a potentially good catalyst for cryptocurrency, and ETC could move higher. But from now until October the 29th, anything could happen. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. So I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.